What if something far beyond your conscious mind brought you here in this exact moment? You might think you clicked out of curiosity, but deep down your soul knows this is not an accident. Some messages are not for everyone. They only appear for those who are ready, those whose inner world has quietly reached a point of awakening. And if you're here, it means a part of you has already begun to remember something ancient, something real. From the very first second, something unseen started moving toward you. You may not see it, but you can feel the shift, subtle, yet undeniable. And in the next few minutes, you won't just hear about the secret of Thoth. You will feel it moving within you. This is not a story for the mind alone. It is a vibration, a living frequency that's been asleep inside you, waiting for the right moment to wake up. It is the same frequency that allows you to see beyond the limits of matter and into the invisible patterns shaping everything you experience. Before we go further, leave a comment that says, "I felt the call." This isn't just for engagement. These words are a key, and every person who writes them strengthens the energy this message carries. What you're about to receive isn't a theory or a mystical performance. It is a revelation. And revelations don't just inform you, they change you. Thoth didn't leave us a manual. He left a code. And that code is beginning to reveal itself again, but only to those who are willing to truly listen. Take a slow, deep breath. Feel the slight movement happening inside you right now. You are about to cross an invisible threshold from the world of the seen into the world of the unseen, into a reality that has always been here, just behind the veil of ordinary perception. True light isn't something your eyes can catch. It is something your awakened spirit can recognize. When we speak of Thoth, we're not talking about a lifeless figure locked in the pages of ancient mythology. We are speaking about a living, intelligent consciousness, a presence that has moved through many ages, many cultures, many names, yet always with the same purpose: to preserve truth that can never be destroyed. In ancient Egypt, Thoth was shown with the head of an ibis, a bird that moves between worlds, between the mud and the sky, between the earth and the heavens. He is the messenger between realms, the translator of the invisible. To see him only as a myth is to miss his essence entirely. He has always been a guardian of vibrational gateways, a presence that exists outside of time, appearing wherever the fragments of wisdom still remain. That is why you can feel him now, even if you've never heard his name before. It is why certain symbols pull at you without reason. It is why names like Hermes, Tahuti, or Enoch can sound strangely familiar. Thoth doesn't awaken you through logic. He speaks directly to your deepest memory. He reaches the part of you that already knows, but has been silent for lifetimes. In Egypt, they called him Jehuti, the one who wrote destinies, who measured the stars, who kept divine time. But the time he measured wasn't hours or days. It was the hidden rhythm of the soul. Every breath, every heartbeat, every choice was part of a greater pattern, like notes in a song only he could read. Those who sought him weren't asking for miracles. They were asking to remember the lost harmony of life. He is tied to the origins of Hermetic teachings and is often credited as the mind behind the Emerald Tablet, a small but incredibly powerful text whose vibration alone could transform consciousness. Thoth didn't write with lifeless ink. He wrote with energy. Each word, each symbol carried living geometry. His writings were not just words, they were maps to deeper layers of reality. History shows that those who meditated on these Hermetic principles experienced real changes in their lives. But what set Thoth apart was his way of teaching. He didn't shout. He didn't force. He didn't put on a display to prove himself. He whispered. He left clues like seeds, waiting for the right soul to notice them. He understood that true awakening happens through recognition, not pressure. That is why everything he left behind was a key, a code waiting to be activated by those in the right vibration. Maybe right now, you're feeling that activation. It's not just emotion. It's a rearranging inside you, a stirring without words, a remembering of something you've known before. Thoth acts like a mirror for your highest self. He doesn't hand you the answers. He guides you back to the right questions. He never came to create followers, only seekers. And that is why he still lives, not in stone temples, but in the quiet spaces between your thoughts. When you are still, he appears. When you truly observe, he speaks. When you align with truth, he knows you. But over the centuries, his teachings were hidden, not because they were harmful, but because they freed people from control. Those in power learned that real power isn't in armies or crowns. It's in the eyes of someone who has awakened. That power cannot be contained. So they buried the knowledge, distorted it, turned living truth into lifeless belief. The phrase, as above, so below, was stripped of its depth and turned into a slogan. But it is a code, a truth that the unseen and the seen are reflections of each other. The outer world mirrors the inner world. Change yourself within, and you change everything without. Understand this, and no one can control you. You become sovereign, and sovereignty is dangerous to systems built on control. That is why these truths were hidden in symbols, myths, and secrecy. The Emerald Tablet, one of the most potent writings in history, stopped being read with the heart and began being dissected with the mind. But it was never for the mind alone. It was meant to awaken something deeper. When Thoth wrote, "All is mind," he wasn't speaking in philosophy. He was revealing that everything you call reality is thought in motion. If the all is mind and you are part of the all, then you are a co-creator, not a victim. This truth was taken from humanity and replaced with fixed beliefs and small truths that limit rather than free. People were told to trust only what can be touched and measured so they would forget the reality behind the form. But matter is only the shell. The real power lies within. Once you see this, the illusion falls, the rules change, and control is no longer possible. This wisdom never died. It withdrew, waiting for the right moment to return. And now it is returning, not through institutions, but through individuals, through those like you who are remembering. And this remembering isn't mental, it's vibrational. It's a shiver, a sudden stillness in the air, a presence that doesn't speak in words but changes everything you feel. At first, it's subtle, the same street, the same sky, but something is different. The world feels layered. You sense the space between all things. Time feels slower. The silence feels alive. This is not your imagination. It is expanded perception. This is what Thoth called vision before form, feeling before understanding, presence before thought. And once this begins, you can never see the world the same way again. Everything outside you may look exactly the same, but something inside you begins to shift in a way you can't quite explain. It's not a thought. It's not something you've been told. It's a quiet movement within you, like a gentle current stirring the depths of a still ocean. This isn't the kind of change that comes from reading a book or hearing someone's explanation. This is the kind of change that happens when you feel with every part of you that you are in the presence of something greater, and you know that this presence is alive. It isn't here to distract you or to pull you away from yourself. It moves through you, filling the spaces within you that you didn't even know were empty. It feels like something long forgotten is waking up, like your soul is stretching after a long and heavy sleep, ready to rise. This is the beginning of alignment with the vibrational field, the invisible living energy that shapes and connects all things. But this awakening can only start when you pause, when the noise of the world quiets down just enough to let silence touch you. Because it's in silence that the unseen begins to move. You can't feel it when you're rushing, when you're buried in thought, when you're lost in the demands of everything around you. You feel it when you allow stillness to return. To taste this state, you don't need to close your eyes or escape the moment. You only need to stop and let yourself be present. Take one deep conscious breath. Notice the air coming in. Notice it going out. Don't try to change the rhythm. Don't try to control anything. Just observe it. Let the breath move like a soft wave through your body. And as you do, notice how something inside you has already shifted. The noise is quieter. Time feels slower. The mind's constant voice begins to soften. You are here, not lost in the past or racing toward the future. You are in a place of presence, and even while hearing these words, you remain connected to it. In this state, you are touching the vibrational field. It has no form, no proof, no need to justify its existence, but you feel it as surely as you feel your own heartbeat. Through it, you begin to see the world with different eyes, the eyes of the soul. And the soul sees what the ordinary senses cannot. It recognizes patterns where others see randomness. It senses meaning in what others dismiss. When this begins to happen, life starts to respond to you. Your perception sharpens, not in the way of analysis, but in the way of recognition. You begin to see beyond time, because the portal to timelessness is already within you. This deeper awareness doesn't simply make you more alert. It opens a doorway inside you to a place that is beyond the body, beyond time. It's a silent, pulsing center from which everything is born, including the way you see reality. Ancient teachers like Thoth called it the hidden eye, not an eye that depends on light, but one that sees through layers. This eye doesn't look at the surface of things. It pierces the veil. It doesn't just see what stands in front of you. It sees what lies beneath and behind. It doesn't calculate or judge. It simply knows. Many today identified this with the pineal gland, a tiny and mysterious structure in the center of the brain. Science debates it, studies it, and theorizes about it. But long before science even named it, ancient wisdom keepers knew it as a portal, a bridge between the physical and the spiritual, between the temporary and the eternal. And they knew it couldn't be forced open by techniques or formulas. It responds to the vibrational state of your consciousness. The more you fill yourself with noise, the more it closes. The more you rest in presence, the more it awakens. Almost no one understands that what activates this hidden eye is not effort, but silence. When you breathe with attention, when you simply notice the air coming in and going out without controlling it, when you rest in the present without judgment or expectation, something begins to stir. A subtle vibration rises from the base of your body toward the crown of your head. It's gentle, but undeniable, like a wave lifting a thin veil. In this state, you don't see with your physical eyes. You perceive connections. You don't understand through logic. You recognize through presence. This is the beginning of activation, and it happens not because you tried harder, but because you stopped resisting. The hidden eye wasn't given to you to show spectacular visions. It was given to dissolve the illusion of time. Because time, as you know it, is a construct of the mind. And when that construct loosens, something extraordinary happens. You begin to remember, not with your mind, but with your soul, with your body, with a vibration that reconnects you to dimensions that have always been here, but were invisible to you until now. This kind of seeing doesn't come from outside. It is born within and radiates outward, casting light over everything. You begin to notice patterns, synchronicities, symbols that once seemed meaningless, a book falling open to exactly what you needed to read, a number appearing over and over, a song playing at the perfect moment. The universe speaks to you, not in words, but in presence. And you realize the only reason you can hear it now is because you stopped speaking long enough to listen. What awakens this eye is not the strain of reaching for it, but the ease of aligning with it. When your vibration matches the truth within you, this center begins to stir on its own. And this awakening isn't a single flash of revelation. It's a living process. It starts as small glimpses, grows stronger as you trust it, and deepens as you let go. When it fully opens, even for just a moment, you feel the boundaries of your body dissolve. You find yourself touching a subtle edge, a thin line that seems to separate you from the rest of existence. And you realize that line was never real. It was only a thought, a protective wall built around something that never needed protection. Your essence. When presence becomes this deep, time begins to dissolve. Your body may be still, but your awareness moves elsewhere. Thoth called this the double nature, the physical body and the subtle vehicle. Your consciousness can move beyond matter, traveling without your body needing to follow. This is not a modern discovery. It is ancient truth preserved in the traditions of Egypt, India, and the Star Peoples. For thousands of years, stories have been told of the body resting while the being stays awake, moving through layers of reality that once seemed unreachable. This is not daydreaming, nor is it imagination. It is the beginning of the journey beyond matter. It is the realization that your consciousness is not locked in your skull, but vast and free, able to move where it wills. Most people fall into unconsciousness when they sleep, but some keep awareness alive even as the body rests. In this state of subtle wakefulness, lucid dreams unfold, and conscious projections into other realms become possible. You may find yourself in places where space bends, where objects behave differently, where time flows in unexpected ways. And you know with certainty that this is not a dream. It is another kind of reality. Here, you are within a living field, the vibrational field of creation. Everything around you pulses with intelligence, responding to you before you even form a thought. In this space, time does not behave the way it does here. What you feel is reflected back to you. What you believe takes shape. What you resist grows stronger. The field is neutral. It doesn't judge. It simply mirrors. Thoth called this field the matrix, not as a digital illusion, but as the cosmic womb where everything exists in its purest vibrational state before becoming matter. In this field, thought is not just thought. It is vibration, and the universe responds to vibration, not to words or shallow intentions. This is why the ancients said that to think is to create, not with mental effort, but with the full alignment of thought, emotion, and frequency. When your vibration is in harmony with your truth, the field responds. Doors open, the right people appear, ideas flow easily. It may seem like coincidence, but it's not. It is vibration in action, the field recognizing your frequency and matching it. Most people experience this unconsciously, allowing old habits, fears, and beliefs to create their reality. This also works, but it creates repetition, chaos, and stagnation. This is why Thoth taught, know yourself, and you will know the universe. Because by knowing your vibration, you step into direct connection with the field that shapes everything. This is not just a spiritual belief. Even modern science, despite its resistance, is beginning to admit what the ancients knew. In the study of subatomic particles, the rules of traditional logic break down. These particles behave unpredictably until they are observed, and in that observation, reality changes. Awareness shapes existence. You are not just a mind in a body. You are a living vibration, connected to the field that gives birth to all things. And when you align yourself with stillness, truth, and presence, the hidden eye opens, and you remember who you have always been. The double-slit experiment revealed something extraordinary about the nature of reality. Scientists found that when no one was watching, a particle behaved like a wave, existing in many possible states at once. But when it was observed, it changed, becoming a single solid particle. This means reality itself responds to consciousness, and the simple act of looking can change what is. This discovery shook the foundations of science, because if consciousness affects matter, then it is part of the fabric of reality. And if consciousness is part of reality, the universe is not a lifeless machine. It is a living, intelligent field that responds, just as Thoth spoke of long ago. Quantum entanglement revealed something even more mind-bending. Two particles can be linked so deeply that what happens to one instantly happens to the other, no matter how far apart they are. They could be on opposite sides of the universe, yet they would respond as if there were no distance between them. This is not theory. It is tested, measured, and proven. It reveals a field that connects everything, one that ignores the usual rules of space and time. The universe behaves like a single, unified organism, vibrating together. Within this living field lies what Thoth called the central code, a way to awaken your inner vision and truly see. Thoth never asked anyone to blindly believe his words. He always pointed toward a direct experience, an inner state where truth reveals itself effortlessly, without mental effort. It is in this state that you can access the code he left behind. The code is not hidden in symbols or locked in complex formulas. It is too simple to be complicated, yet too deep to be shallow. It is vibrational, and it comes alive when three things are combined: silence, attention, and subtle perception. Silence here is not just the absence of noise. It is an inner quiet where the mind loosens its grip, where the endless chatter of thought fades, and something more refined emerges, something that listens without judgment and observes without interference. Attention is not the tight, forced focus that drains you, but a living awareness that flows naturally, the kind of presence you feel when standing before something sacred without knowing why. It is when you look at something ordinary and feel its meaning because you are seeing with your whole being, not just your eyes. Subtle perception is sensing beyond the obvious, hearing what is not sound, feeling without touch, knowing without logic. It is like a fragrance that cannot be seen but changes the entire atmosphere. When silence, attention, and subtle perception come together, something inside you awakens. A center that has been dormant comes to life, and you begin to see from within it. This inner vision is not an image. It is a state of being, a vibration where the separation between you and the world fades away. Life starts to respond differently. Signs become clear. Answers arrive before you ask. You stop searching and start recognizing. This is why the code cannot be fully taught in words. It must be lived. If you have come this far, you may already feel it stirring inside you. It is no longer theory. It is happening now. Your mind is open. Your body is present. And your energy is vibrating differently. Once this vibration becomes stable, you cross an invisible threshold. There is no going back. You have crossed the veil. The way you see the world changes forever. Words feel heavier with meaning. Encounters carry more depth. Places seem to speak to you. Something inside you is broken open, not in harm, but in release. A shell has fallen away, a structure that once protected you but also confined you. The old distractions lose their pull. The surface no longer satisfies because you have touched the source. You know now that everything is vibration, everything is consciousness, and everything reflects who you are. That knowledge changes everything. But this is not the end. It is the beginning. Seeing beyond the physical world is the first step. The challenge now is to live with that vision, to bring the invisible into daily life, to act from consciousness even when old patterns try to pull you back into autopilot. Thoth warned of this. Awakening is a doorway, not a final destination. It is an invitation to live differently, to choose instead of react, to create instead of depend, to move with your own inner field instead of following the pull of the external. In this way, reality begins to reorganize around you. The same events may happen, but your response changes. The same people may appear, but you see them differently. Life continues, but you are no longer the same. You now understand you are here to remember, to create, to expand, and to live in presence. You are not alone. There are paths, teachers, and experiences that can take you deeper. But already, you have the foundation. You have felt the vibration. You have reached the point of no return in your soul. If you feel that shift within you, write the words, "I crossed the veil." This is more than a statement. It anchors the vibration into your being and strengthens the shared field we are creating. From here, more will open. The path will keep unfolding. And as it does, you will see that the world was always this alive, and you were always meant to remember.